It's all in my head. It's all in my head.
Alrighty, so we're recording.
Oh no.
All right, so we're here with my cousin Jonathan. I haven't seen him in a while, but he's an artist
Yeah,
as
because
well.
he doesn't call.
Because I don't call. I've been extremely busy, but yeah. So I just recently moved to the new place. Is we're able to actually have a space to do the podcast. So the podcast name, if you haven't already checked it out, it's Paint Trips. So yeah, let's get started. So pretty much, you're not gonna see our face. You're just gonna see us kind of sketch around and talk. So yeah, let's just catch up. All right. So your career, or at least what you're studying, is what exactly?
Engineering.
Engineering. Awesome. Okay. Cool. So yeah, because it's always been,
Dumb.
he's been good with like electrical stuff, mechanical stuff. He worked at a CNC machinery shop for what, 2 years, 3 years? Yeah. So pretty much what he would do is actually, why don't you explain it?
I swept the floors.
All right. You swept the floors. What else?
I started off there, I swept the floors, and then he had me learn how to run the machines. And so I learned from the programmer how to do the setup so I could keep the parts running when the programmer wasn't around. And eventually, on my own, I decided I wanted to learn how to program. So I started studying the program itself, how to do it, so I could do the programming. So when his programmer screwed up,
You would fix it.
well, I took over the position.
Oh, okay. So when it comes to the program, it's not like a computer program, right? It's not like fucking you open a window and you run something, or like Photoshop or anything. How do those programs kind of go about?
You had to draw the part in either two-dimension, usually two-dimension, although if it was a complicated part, you had to do it in 3 dimensions. And then you had to figure out, okay, what the material was going to look like before you actually started to cut it, so that you could put proper dimensions in. And then you would go in and tool path it so that it would produce the parts you wanted.
Oh shit. Okay. So all this stuff you learned at that shop.
Yeah.
Okay. And the programmer taught you, or it was just kind of you just viewed? You kind of just saw him how he kind of did it.
And then he didn't teach me nothing. He helped out. He kept all his secrets because he didn't want to be replaced.
Yeah, I hate when people are like that, man.
Apparently,
Well,
a
you're
lot of
trying-
people in that field are that way.
Yeah, you're trying to learn, and they're not, they're not willing to.
protective because they don't want to lose their positions.
Yeah. I mean, I understand that it took you a long time to learn this, but I mean, if you're confident in your ability, I don't see why it's such a big deal to teach someone. I mean, obviously, you're not going to teach them in depth, where it's like stuff you had to learn with experience, but I mean, it just seems like you're greedy in a sense,
That's how I took it.
like, I don't know. I remember when I started at my warehouse job, it's literally opening, locating pallets and moving pallets around, and I would like kind of look over the guy and be like, "Oh, hey, how do you locate this or how do you locate that?" And he wouldn't teach me. And I was like, "Dude, why won't you teach me? Like, you can get this order done so much quicker if you kind of teach me,
Yeah.
This way, it's not just you like locating this stuff and figuring this stuff out." And I guess the simple fact was he just wanted to sit at the fucking desk. If he taught me, yeah, and it's just like, it's crazy because I see him every other day at work, and I mean, I don't laugh at him.
in
but-
your head.
I don't laugh at him, but dude, like, he's still working in the same position there.
That proves right there.
Yeah,
Obviously,
and it's
you
like,
put some
dude.
thought into it. You're laughing to it in your head.
it's not to laugh, but it's to like, dude, like shit like this happens, or you don't move up because you're so stuck on what you're doing. You're so stuck on this. You're like, oh, this is mine. I'm gonna protect it. I'm not gonna teach nobody. But then you're not also going out and learning other shit. You know, you're not going out and doing what you're preventing other people to do. You know, like, oh, hey, I'm gonna learn, blah blah blah, because you're so focused on fucking keeping this. And I don't know. That's the way I see it. Like, dude, like, if you be a bit more open and focus on other areas of the company, other areas of the job, you would not just be sitting fucking there. You know, you'd be in a different position.
Yeah.
And it's just, yeah. I mean, it's not funny, but it is like, dude, that's what you get.
It's
That's what
funny.
you get. Yeah, that's what you get. You know, that's definitely what you get for
I think
some
it's
fucking shit.
it's more of like you help everybody grow and you grow with them. So if you don't want to help anybody grow, then of course you're not going to grow.
Exactly. Yeah, definitely.
And it's funny because like now in my current job, I mean, there's 4 guys in the United States that can do what I do, and
Okay, so explain. Hold on. So your company has other locations.
no,
Oh, okay. So
well actually no, I take that back. We do, but they're just stores.
okay, but
We only have like 2.
so what do you mean by in the U.S.?
Because there's 2 or 3 other guys in the U.S. that are trained to do what I've done, what I do, and I mean that's it. There's no one else trained or certified to do what we do, and a lot of people. I mean, of course, they try and they manage to make it work sometimes, but it's more often than not you end up calling one of us, and generally, if one of them can't solve it, then you call me because I'm the one that learned most from the guys. You know, like one of the guys, he's really good, but he doesn't know like the current generation of machines. So
Oh, okay.
you can't call him if you have the new stuff. If you do, you know, he's gonna call me constantly, asking along the way. Which of course, you know, I don't mind helping because it means I don't have to deal with the customer like going out there, which I don't mind either. I love to travel, but
Mhm.
I mean, for the customer's sake, you know, it's like not going to be as cheap for me to travel to the East Coast when you have a guy that's already over there. Doesn't make sense.
Okay. So some of your customers are outside of the West Coast, so they're in the East Coast, Midwest. Okay. And it's for just so you guys know where he works at, or at least what the company does. It's like a framing company, right?
No, it's a fastening company. They deal with like staples and nails and all that. My machines I work on are for framing. But I mean, that's not what the company's about. It's just a small part.
Oh shit! So the major part of the company's income is from
Staples and
fashion.
nails.
Oh shit! Okay, but I remember you telling me you deal with a lot of framing machines that
Yeah,
frame
that's all I deal with for
photos.
framing machines.
Oh, okay.
And it works out really good because, like, you know, I like to go to conventions and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And when I get like posters or whatever, and get them signed by the artist, you know, people come back and some people go and buy their frames from Walmart or Target or Michaels, you know.
Yeah.
But I go to these frame shops that they do the custom stuff, and since I fix their machines for them at the drop of a hat, you know, I make sure to take care of them. We don't charge them ridiculous prices. I get all kinds of nice custom frames done for free.
Oh, nice. Okay, cool. So I remember last time we spoke, you told me about meeting a couple artists at these conventions, and they actually gave you like prints, right? Some of their prints and stuff.
Yeah.
And they just gave it to you just because you talked to them, or how was this about? Like, did you purchase them, or they were just like, dude, you're cool, I'm gonna give you something nice.
I don't think I've ever purchased anything from those kind of artists.
Oh, tight. See, that's
From
cool.
the comic conventions and stuff, it's a different story.
Oh yeah, that's everybody, man.
Yeah.
You know.
But from like the places that I go to where you have the artists, you know, and they're displaying their stuff in art galleries and all that. Oh man, they don't hesitate. Oh man, you're the one that keeps my stuff framed and keep going. Like, yeah. Oh, what do you want?
See, I love that aspect of art, where it's like you being an artist yourself, like you understand how much work goes into art and stuff. So when like people network and prints are exchanged or gifts are given through artwork and prints and stuff like that, it's like you understand that it's not as simple as giving someone a fucking printed piece of paper. It's like this person spent money, spent time creating that, and obviously, if they're giving it to you, it's not a fucking piece of paper. You know? Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I love that about like art and artists and just the networking aspect of it. Like, I don't know. I've met a lot of artists in conventions. Obviously, not conventions like yours, where it's like what is it, like framing. The majority is framing stuff. And I remember you always tell me, like, you gotta go to these framing conventions. Like artists, there's
Really,
artists.
because like you go there and there's artists there just showcasing all their art, you know, and then and I mean, I don't know, a lot of, I would say, artists don't realize how much the frame contributes to the artwork.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I just left a poster with a guy to do frame for me because he did a previous one for me, and he was very specific to get. He did double mat boards and the frame, and he made sure that the certain mat boards made certain colors in the picture pop.
Oh,
So I mean, it really changed.
it's not
the look of
just
the picture.
a fucking normal black
Yeah.
frame. Yeah. That. So matting is the outside border, right?
Right.
The outside border. So it's like, is it underneath the print or on top of the print?
It's on top.
Oh, okay. See, that's that fancy shit right there. Yeah, no, definitely.
And then you get like the shadow boxing and all that.
Oh,
It makes
yeah.
it look like your picture's floating. Some of the things I've seen, it's like, wow.
Yeah, my drawings coming out like shit. But yeah, so the point of this podcast is not the drawings. I know a lot of the focus is on this, but it's just about the conversation.
He just says that because
it's coming out like shit. Yeah. Yeah. But anyways, okay, cool. So you've gone to how many conventions now since you worked there? Framing conventions.
4 or 5.
Okay, so have you run into any artists that you've met in years prior, where you're like, hey, remember me, blah blah blah, or is it always a new artist that you meet?
I don't think they necessarily remember me because I'm the guy that comes in and works on the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of these artists are. There's one in Vegas, Peter Lick. That guy, he does a photography.
Oh shit!
And like, I mean, his prints sell out, and they're like, yeah, and then when I was there the last time working on the machines, they were telling me that they're printing them, and then they're doing, I think they're printing them on metal, and then they're doing a metal frame on them, and they were telling me that they're like back ordered like crazy for those because it was so popular. Because the guy that did some new picture that looked really popped when it was on metal.
Yeah.
So,
See, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's I haven't personally dealt with that, but it's awesome when hearing about an artist being backward on stuff. Like I don't know, you feel good for them because you know that that's not an easy feat. That's not an easy thing to do. Especially
some of these are like, I mean, the facility this guy owns in Vegas is like,
it's crazy.
It's bigger than the company I work at.
Oh,
it's
shit.
just for art.
Damn, see,
And
that's
then-
awesome.
And then there's one guy, I'm trying to remember his name. I can't remember his name, but he's in, where is he at? There's Peter Lick, and then this other, he's in Texas. He used to be in California, but he's in Texas now.
Mhm.
And he's another photography. I think he also does some painting though too. And his company is huge. huge. I've never seen it. It used to be, I think Dell. I think is what they said. It used to be a Dell warehouse, so it's huge and it's air conditioned. A warehouse is air conditioned. I mean, you can imagine how fancy it is.
Yeah, hell yeah. Warehouse air conditioned?
Yeah.
That's crazy right there. You know, have you seen that show, Comedians and Driving Cars and Coffee, whatever the fuck it's called, with Seinfeld? So it's a show where Seinfeld goes around in like different kinds of cars and picks up comedians, and then he just drives around and they do stuff and they just kind of talk about whatever, you know.
Right.
And the very first episode, favorite fucking episode, was with Jim Carrey. So Jim Carrey, I mean, I'm sure you've heard, he's an artist. He's an artist as well, and they were walking around and they were talking, and he picked them up from his house. He picked them up from his fucking house, and then he's like, "Oh, let me give you a quick tour." So he takes them into his fucking house or his studio or whatever. Dude, this fool's living the artist's dream. He's got racks on racks of just paint, like paint tubes, just racks and racks and racks of paint tubes. So it's like a whole little warehouse, and then on top of the warehouse is his office. So his office is like little office space with all kinds of weird and eccentric art, little furniture and shit like that. And I was just thinking, man, this fool's got all the supplies and all kinds of shit. Anytime he feels creative, he doesn't have the restriction of, oh shit, I don't have the money to buy these supplies right now.
Yeah.
Like, he just fucking creates whatever the fuck he wants, whenever the fuck he wants. He came out when he saw Seinfeld, his clothes and his shoes were covered in paint. Like, that was his work clothes, you know? And I was thinking, man, this guy's awesome. You know, I always liked Jim Carrey.
Yeah.
His studio is something to be extremely jealous of. That's for sure.
If you like to paint.
Yeah, of course. Dude, even if you don't, just the space, you know? It's fucking awesome.
I don't know. See, I would feel differently. If I had that much space, I feel like I'd have to fill it up.
Alright, let's talk about that. What would you add in let's say you had like a warehouse. Like a warehouse where you can just fucking Rob Dyrdek kind of shit, where you can just add all kinds of whatever the fuck you want. What would you definitely need to have? Obviously, you're not gonna cover every inch of it as of right now, but what would be the one thing for sure you gotta have?
I mean, I don't really do colors. I've never really learned how to use colors very well, so I've always been paper and pencil. So
no, I mean, what would you add? What would you have in your warehouse? I mean, it doesn't have to be an art warehouse. What would you have in your warehouse? Like gadgets or fucking a trampoline or a fucking jumper.
all the toys that my parents never bought me when I grew up.
Okay. Your dad had a lot of fucking toys. Remember your dad had a lot of toys?
Yeah, but I'm talking about like
All the old school shit?
Monica, my sister friend, you know, having her brother, well, their aunt, I believe, worked for whoever it was, Bandai or Saban or whatever, and so he had like every single Power Ranger toy, like right when it came out.
Shit.
And he had like all the deluxe Megazord and all that stuff. And then my parents were, oh, it's too hard to find. I never got it, you know.
Oh, yeah, and then back then you couldn't order shit on the internet.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. Yeah, I remember that.
It's kind of funny actually because I've been going back and buying all those.
Yeah, remember when you bought that Green Ranger fucking flute? It was like a 200 limited edition, 14K gold fucking flute. And you drop that money, you're like, fuck it, I got it. I'm gonna drop it. This is what I work you for.
It's funny because I went with my friend. We went over to the one place, Frankenstein's.
Yeah.
And they had because he's super into Voltron. That's what he grew up on, was Voltron.
Oh, is he older than you? He's a bit older.
He's
right?
a couple years older. He's 4 years older, I think.
Okay.
And he grew up on Voltron.
Yeah.
And we got there, and I was looking for a specific comic, and he was just looking around because he likes to look at that stuff. And he saw Voltron up top, and he was like, because it had foreign writing on it. He comes over and he's like, "Oh, it's so funny! Look at that Voltron up there. It's a cheapy version, like a China version or something." And I looked up at it and I was like, "Dude, that's not the China version. That's the high quality version." He's like, "What are you talking about?" It's like they released this series called The Soul of Chogoku, and it's like die cast, made for adults. It's not intended for kids. It's super high quality, And so he's like, "Really?" And I was like, "Yeah, let's go in and ask." So we go in and we ask. Hey, how much is that Voltron up there? And the guy says, "Oh, it's $850."
Yeah.
So
How big was it? How big was it?
he didn't put it together. He didn't.
Oh,
buy
so
it.
they were separate.
He didn't buy it from there. He bought it on eBay. He found it and he got it for a really good deal, actually. But I think the whole thing is like 14 inches, 12, 14 inches, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
But it's the 5 separate lions, and they're all opposable. You can pose them.
Yeah.
And then you
They
can
make
put it
the-
together to
oh,
make
shit.
Voltron.
And it's not like cheapy plastic. It's
No,
like fucking,
it's die cast. And stuff like that.
yeah.
And he had never heard of this series, So after I told him about it, he bought that Voltron, and then he went and he found the Megazord from Power Rangers.
Oh shit, the
And then when
original
he
one?
found out about the Megazord, I had in passing told him, yeah, the one I had always wanted. I mean, I liked the Megazord, but the one I had always wanted was the Dragon Zord. And so he showed me, oh yeah, the Dragon Zord's out too, and he showed me. So I was like, damn it. So I ended up buying the damn Dragon Zord. And then since I had the Dragon Zord, I went and bought the Megazord.
Might as well, right?
But he got the original color Megazord, which is like way more expensive. I got the black version, which it was confusing because that was the limited edition version, I
Why
guess.
would it be cheaper?
But yeah, it was cheaper. The guy that I bought it off of only wanted like $10 over sticker price. I was, okay, take it. I want the thing.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting both the Dragon Zord and the Megazord.
Oh,
and he's
shit.
got the Voltron and the Megazord.
The
And
Drag-
he's thinking about getting the Dragon Sword. And then next year, the Titanus comes out. So I'm going to buy the
Which one's that one?
Titanus, the big white Brontosaurus.
Oh shit!
That
Oh,
they would
it's tight.
get inside
yeah,
of.
yeah, I remember
And so
that.
I figure when that comes out, I'll have the whole thing and I'll display it,
Yeah,
all put
hell yeah.
together. That's the plan.
Yeah, there you go. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's a good choice. Like, you have a fucking warehouse. I mean, if you're gonna have space for any, any toys or any fucking displays or any fucking like figure, like what do you call them? What's the specific word for the displays? The display versions, not like what do you call them? They're not action figures. You don't play with them, right?
Good.
I mean, I guess you could.
I mean, I don't play with them, but like, I kid you not, like, it seems like almost every day I put them in a different pose.
That's pretty tight. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Like sometimes I got the Dragon Zord combined with the couple of them, or I've got the Megazord posing differently with his sword like resting on his shoulder. It's pretty cool how much you can do with it. Like I said, like every day, if I'm sitting on my computer, I look over at him and I'm like, I'm gonna change the pose.
Yeah, it's tight, man. There's this artist I follow. I forget his name, but he's like an oil painter or whatever, and he's always painting like all kinds of different like cartoons from like when I was growing up. So he's got like a bunch of different Power Rangers and stuff like that. But the oil paintings are fucking sick. They look like kind of like picture quality, but they still have that oil painting aesthetic to it, where it's like big thick brush strokes and stuff like that. But yeah, his shit's awesome. His shit's awesome. And I was like, I'm pretty sure I told you before, where I was like, man, all these toys would be perfect for like posing your own reference pictures. If you ever want to draw and stuff, you pose your toy how you want it. You can get your different camera angles, and there's no way you're ever gonna find a reference online that's gonna have it that specific.
Yeah.
Or where you can put toys that or like characters that aren't meant to ever be together, and the only way you're gonna get them together is either you Photoshop it, find pictures that are the specific poses you want, and then Photoshop them together, or you have the badass fucking detailed toys,
Yeah.
pose them together, you put some lighting, and then you create your own reference pictures for your drawings. Yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Like I remember, I think it was last year. Remember we were trying to I wanted to do like
Sculpting.
sculpting. Yeah, I wanted to do sculpting. Well, it definitely wasn't last year. It was older for yeah, um, time ago.
That was very short-lived. How difficult that was.
Yeah, dude, that shit was hard. I still have the stuff to do it, but that's sculpting is very, very hard.
Yeah, I think that's something that I would want to take a class on before I attempt to do it again.
Yeah, at least like keep the basics, you know,
Yeah.
the fundamentals. Then you
Seems
can
like
fuck
there's got to
around.
be a good way to start on that.
Yeah, there's gotta be, man. There's gotta be. But what were we- oh no, I was talking about like you had bought this badass Ace toy.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
a badass Ace toy, and that's when I first fucking got the idea. I was like, man, that toy's so badass. I bet you can like get a badass picture of it for reference.
Yeah.
You know. Have you been keeping up with One Piece?
On and off.
On and off. Are they back, like on track, or you wouldn't know? Because you know how they have like the time, that little in between arcs.
The last interesting quote unquote fight he had, like they had to make her a cake or something like that, and that was a little like, what? How are you gonna have to deal with someone by making them a cake? So,
Oh, was that the one where you fought that Mochi guy or whatever?
yeah, that was a cool fight.
Yeah, I heard that was a fucking badass fight.
Yeah,
That's what I heard. I haven't actually seen it or read about it, but I heard the fight itself was like really good. I don't know if it was you or somebody that told me that it kind of sucks the way he won or the way it ended. Because he didn't really beat him, right? Didn't they just
the
die?
guy kind of like admit defeat.
Did he really get defeated though?
I would say so. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I remember watching. I remember seeing pictures of like his attacks, and it was like Luffy's attacks times 10 or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
like he knew how to use like his devil fruit really well, and it was like mirroring Luffy, or
Yeah.
he no, wouldn't he tell like Luffy,
It was like
you're
a
wasting
weird-
fucking you're wasting this stuff. Like, well, I don't know if it was you who told me, where it's like that little Gatling punches shit he does.
Yeah.
The other guy does them like way more effectively, or he
Yeah.
doesn't do that. What was it that?
It was like everything Luffy did, he was way more effective with it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know, it was definitely cool, but I mean, like towards the end of the fight, you know, it was just like
Was it a
no
stamina
matter
thing?
what he did, he couldn't affect Luffy. Luffy was like realms above him at that point. That's how I took it. You know, and I thought that
Oh,
was
so it was a stamina thing.
really, yeah, kind of not so much stamina. It was just like
Endurance. Sorry.
like I don't know if you've ever read or watched Tokyo Ghoul.
I've watched Tokyo Ghoul, but I'm not sure that to the extent.
But you're probably not watching the current season. I
Oh
guess.
no, definitely not.
Yeah, so like in the current season, he's fighting the dude that's like considered the strongest, or he's actually just fought him. And like the guy towards the end of the fight, the guy is just like, he's like, you're not gonna kill me. He's like, no. He's like, I don't know what to do. I've never been in this situation where I've run out of options.
Oh shit, the
'Cause
main
he-
guy,
he-
the bad guy.
the bad guy. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I guess he's the bad guy. He couldn't do anything to the main guy. He was like out of options. Nothing he did worked. But the main guy didn't want to kill him. He felt like
Oh.
a sense of camaraderie with him, I guess. But it was like he didn't want to kill him, you know.
Yeah.
and it was just like he ran out of options. There was literally nothing he could do to win. And that's kind of how I took it with the Mochi guy.
Where he kind of ran out of options.
Yeah. And then one thing I did think was interesting was the guy, Sakurai or whatever, the guy that made, or whatever, Oichi, whatever. That guy, he said that he's 80% through the series now.
One Piece.
Yeah.
Wow, that's interesting.
Yeah. I was like, wow, that seems like kind of a jump, because I remember it seemed like a year or so ago he said there was plenty of story to tell. And now I was like, oh, I'm 80% through it.
Do you think he's getting pressured to end it, or maybe the audience is kind of getting tired or stepping away from it a little bit?
I enjoy the story when there's like significant things happening.
Yeah.
But when he's got all the little side arcs, I mean, it's been going on for so long that it's just like, dude, that's like when I stop reading. You know, it's like, okay, there's a major fight coming up, I'll start reading again. But they're sailing over here and they're gonna help a donkey find his way to the top of the island. It's like, really, I don't care about that.
Yeah. Oh, spoilers. I forgot to say
Well,
spoiler.
that was made up. I'm just,
Okay. We should have said spoiler before we started talking about how Mochi Mochi.
Well, I didn't even say how he won though.
Oh, okay. Cool. So, yeah. No, definitely. I that's why I kind of stopped watching One Piece a little bit, was because of the fucking arcs.
yeah,
The arcs that did nothing to push the major story.
Yeah,
Like the mermaid arc I felt pointless to me,
yeah.
but I didn't watch it, so I don't know if it had specific stuff that pushed the overall story forward. But yeah, I was over the mermaid arc.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's just whenever they do those little arcs now, it's uninteresting to me.
I think, okay, dude, it's, how long has it been? 20 years? 20 something years?
It's been a while. I don't know
It's been a while.
how long it's been, but it's been a while.
I mean, it definitely was around 2000, right? So,
I mean, it's outlasted Naruto. It's outlasted Bleach. It's outlasted quite a bit.
so like, dude, like, don't push it off.
Yeah,
don't push your luck.
I mean, your story is really good, but I mean, you're gonna kill it for everybody.
You keep doing those arcs, you're gonna, yeah, definitely. You killed it for me, and I'm not saying I'm a diehard fan because I haven't kept up, but I think I'm a fan that really loves it, and it's gonna be really hard for it to be ruined for me. You know, like if something,
Says the guy who stopped watching.
yeah, I stopped watching it, but it hasn't been ruined. You know, it hasn't been ruined. Whereas, like, I hate to say this, and also people are gonna be like, "What?" This, I think Attack on Titan was kind of ruined for me. Spoilers. I remember you told me like the whole reason that they're there or whatever, or like the little secret stuff.
Yeah.
That ruined it for me. Like I can't watch it anymore. Like I could probably watch it just for the action, but story wise, I'm over it. Like I wish they would have made it a lot more interesting. I think the way
I can't even read it anymore. I find it. I don't know.
it's not as interesting, right? Like it lost all its appeal. Like its appeal had a lot to do with the mystery of it or the unknown part of it. And then when you find that out, it just stops being cool. The whole even the backstory stops being cool.
I'm not gonna lie. I wonder how many potential fans you're gonna lose for all bashing on all the animes they like.
Right. Well, the good thing is I don't have any fans, so I can't. There's nothing for me to lose. But yeah, dude, like Attack on Titan was kind of ruined for me. Actually, really ruined for me. I really enjoyed the music. I really.
Blaming me, huh?
Oh, well, I mean, you didn't create the story.
But I
You
spoiled it
you
for
saved me a lot of time. I would have been more pissed if I would have spent the time watching it or reading the fucking manga, and I found that out. I would have been way more fucking pissed. But since you kind of told me kind of where it was, I was like, okay, I'm not gonna waste my time. I'm already over it. It's, you know, I don't know. Yeah, and I feel One Piece could do that. At least hope they don't do that. I hope they don't ruin it. Because I mean, what's so mysterious about it? Like the dad hasn't really come around. Shanks still really hasn't played a big role, right?
Right.
Shanks, Luffy's dad. What else?
Well, I feel like I remember one of the last chapters I read. They showed Shanks like he was going to become a prominent character for something. But
Okay, that's
I
awesome.
stopped paying
See, but
attention.
that kind of makes me want to watch it because I think Shanks is one of those characters where you kind of like follow, like you really like,
yeah,
but it's very minimal that they show up. It's kind of like when you're playing Mega Man X and you see Zero, and you're like, whoa, that fool looks cool, but he doesn't really show up
except to die.
except to like fucking die, you know. And it's like, what the fuck, you know? The whole time you're playing the game, you're like, fuck, I want to see if I can play with that character. I want to see more about that character, and then it's
And
gonna
then he
show up at
dies.
the
And,
end.
oh, here's my Buster. I'm like, you bastard.
Yeah, see, like that. Where it's like, you know, you kind of like him a lot because he had a lot to do with, you know, Luffy and all that. And he just looked pretty fucking cool. And every little time, like, they show him as a fucking badass. It's like, oh shit, what can you do with one arm? you know, and it's like mysterious that everybody respects him so much. I hope they don't ruin it. Any other anime you kind of really into, or you haven't? I know you've been reading a lot of books and a lot of. You've been reading a lot of Chinese books, right?
No, kind of. Some of them.
Some of them, right? Yeah. So he doesn't read Chinese. He reads them translated, but they're originally from Chinese authors, right?
As far as I know, unless they're lying. But there are a couple animes I've been watching. Like I said, the Tokyo Ghoul.
Tokyo Ghoul, okay. Is that manga or actual anime?
An anime. The manga ended.
Oh wow! So is the anime catching up to the manga, or is it like a full metal?
It's catching up.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's like, it's not, I wouldn't say it's in the last arc, but it's pretty darn close. So I'm sure they'll do at least one more season, but I wouldn't be surprised if they could get 2 or 3 more seasons out of it, you know? So I think it could be sometime spent on them. And then there's this one I've been watching, I'm sure a lot of people have, is
Hero?
Reincarnated as a Slime.
Reincarnated as a slime. No, I have not heard of that. What is that about?
Dude,
Spoiler, we haven't seen it.
his dies like right at the beginning of the show, protecting like his coworker and the coworker's, I don't know if it's his girlfriend or his wife, but he dies protecting them. He gets stabbed.
So like a mugging.
Yeah, basically, yeah. And
So-
then
Batman origin?
and when he dies, he's like, oh, you know, he's complaining about different things of pain and how cold it is and stuff. And so this voice of the world starts announcing, oh, he's acquired heat resistance, he's acquired cold resistance, he's acquired pain nullification, and all these things.
Mhm.
And then he
The
wakes
character?
up and he's a slime, like in a fantasy world. And like he's running around this cave and he's finding that he can absorb plants, precious gems, and all this crap, and it just stores into like some kind of internal storage that he has apparently manifested.
So he's
But
like
he's a
slime?
slime, a little like
Like a little
slime, a
slug?
little ball.
Oh, so like a ditto looking thing.
Yeah, basically.
Oh wow, okay.
And he's like just running around this cave that he's reincarnated inside of, and he comes across a dragon, and the dragon's like been trapped there for a long time,
Mhm.
and so the dragon's happy to have something to talk to, and so then the dragon ends up naming him, and he names the dragon, and I don't know because they never really clarify if that's what caused it, but he's a significantly powerful character,
The dragon.
the slime.
Oh really? Okay. But it's a fantasy world, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean it's a slime. Slimes are traditionally like the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah, of course.
And so the dragon, he wants to help the dragon because they become friends. And so he's like, well, I can't break you out of your prison yet. The dragon's like, well, what can we do? He's like, well, I can analyze your prison from the outside and you can analyze it from the inside. He's like, well, how will we do that? And he's like, well, I can eat your prison and you'll be trapped inside your prison inside my stomach. And so the dragon's like, screw it, let's do it. And so he eats it.
So the prison's like a cave?
Yeah, it's like a magical prison for him.
How big is
It's
this
freezing
cave?
punch. As big as the dragon, it's just a giant sphere.
So it's huge.
Yeah,
Oh shit.
and then when he leaves the cave, you know, he's got to fight monsters on the way out, and he's killing them, and he's like developing abilities as he's doing it. You know, like a water attack that's like as sharp as a sword, and all this stuff, and he's becoming a really, really powerful monster. And when he gets out of the cave, finally, he's like, "Oh yeah, freedom!" And
Spits
and
him
then
out.
he come across, you know, that does happen to him way later, but he comes across some goblins, and like they're all terrified because he's emitting an aura and he doesn't realize it, and the aura is like terrifying to the lower level monster
Oh
because
shit.
he's basically like
Like
the boss
dragon.
of a dungeon. walking out into the
okay.
starting field. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So it's kind of like a role playing thing, kind of like a
Kind of.
Final
It
Fantasy
has
type of thing,
elements, yeah.
where it's like outside the fucking cave. It's like lower level monsters that are just like roaming around and shit.
Kind of, because I mean, there's high level stuff out there too, but it's just that, I mean, they have powers and stuff like that, and everyone's like a different hierarchy. Although goblins are like the weakest, you know.
Yeah. Okay.
And so he ends up becoming the leader of the goblins and the dire wolves.
Oh
And
shit.
he names them, and when he gives them a name, they evolve, and they all become like the elder of the goblins was like an old decrepit goblin walking around in a cane. And after he named him, he got like an 8-pack, and he's like 10 feet tall, and he's super buff.
Okay, so naming has a lot to do with it.
Yeah.
Does he name them because he's created a friendship with them? He's developed a friendship with them, or it's just because he decided to name them?
It was out of laziness because he said, "How am I gonna address you guys if you don't have names?" And so he's like, "So I'm gonna give you guys names," and they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna get names." And he didn't realize the significance of naming somebody, and so he named every single one, and then he ended up passing out for 3 days to recover his memory.
Oh, so it does take energy to name.
And so he ends up, like I say, he passes out for 3 days, and then he wakes up, and the goblins, and like everyone's completely changed. Like the female goblins are like he looks at one of them and he's like, "Dang, she's hot," you know. He keeps staring at her chest and all this stuff,
Trying to get some?
right? And like,
Good. I'm trying to get some.
he like I don't know, just the way the story goes. Eventually, he gets a body, like a human body, that he uses quite a bit, you know.
How does he get the body? Does he go in the body, or he absorbs the body? And
The
he's like
person that
outside.
the body belonged to kind of became his friend, and she was like enslaved, kind of.
Also, it's a female body.
Yeah, and yeah, but okay, so after he gets her body, after everything happens, he gets her body. I don't want to spoil it for people that are watching the anime.
Oh yeah.
But when he gets her body, it's like
He does some funny shit.
it's androgynous, so you can't tell if he's male or female. He's like a really cute looking boy,
or
but he doesn't have any
really
of the
male
sexual
looking girl.
organs.
Oh, okay. So it's like a monkey rider looking thing?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And so, but I mean, he uses that form a lot, and so people like recognize him. And like as he gets more and more powerful, the body kind of ages also. So like towards the end of the series, you know, he looks like a 16-year-old kid, as opposed to the beginning when he looked like a 10, 12-year-old kid.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Okay. And it's called Reincarnated as a Slime?
I think it's the actual title is like That Time I Got Reincarnated as a Slime.
Oh, okay.
There's
And
like
this
a
is
sequel
relatively new?
series that I haven't read. It actually came out in like 2012 or 2013, I think, the book series.
The book. Oh.
Yeah, the anime is new though. It's apparently going to be 24 episodes, so I'm looking forward to that because
I love when
it's
animes are
entertaining.
Yeah.
It's like, I mean, just the stuff this guy comes up with is like, eventually he becomes in charge of like ogres and goblins and the wolves, and then he like, I mean, because he's came from, you know, our modern world, and he's in this fantasy world, and so like he applies a lot of things that he can, you know. So like eventually they build a city, and it's like modern buildings and all this stuff. So all the other cities around them are like kind of jealous of how improved they are, you know, the
Yeah.
human civilizations, the dwarves and everything. But at the same time, he and then his subordinates become so powerful that people don't want to mess with him either. You know what I
Oh,
mean?
shit.
A couple
Okay.
people try and it doesn't work out very well for them.
It's crazy, man. That's a unique storyline. You know?
Yeah, it's really good. I remember when I first saw like the title, like, that doesn't sound interesting at all. Who wants to see a guy revived as a slime? But then I was reading more and more about it, and they're like, oh yeah, you know, he goes on to do this and this and that. Well, that sounds a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, definitely.
What about Overlord? Did you ever watch or read that one?
Overlord. No, actually I haven't. Is that cool?
Yeah, that was another kind of a guy was logged into an MMO. I think it was a VR MMO, and he was logged in on the day that the game was going to be shut down. stayed logged in. He fell asleep
Oh shit.
while the game was shut down, and then when he woke up, he was still in the game.
Oh shit.
But it had like become a reality, his reality. So I don't know if he was transported or what they have. At least in the anime, they haven't clarified, and I never read the book.
Mhm.
But I mean, he's super OP in this dimension, you know. And there's 3 seasons. The 3rd season just ended, and in the 3rd season, he kind of like has a war, and he wants to demonstrate his power. I guess is the best way to say it. So he decides to cast a magic spell against the enemy army, and his one spell kills 70,000 enemy soldiers. So you can imagine how the other armies felt about that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I didn't realize he was as strong as that.
Is that like the characters in like medieval time? That Overlord one?
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
It's like the technology they have, but there's also magic, you know.
Yeah.
But of course, he's like the cream of the crop, and I mean, I guess it's not funny. It was sad because he slaughtered a bunch of humans that broke into his palace, I guess you could say.
Mhm.
And some of them, like, I felt bad for, but like there was this one girl in particular that she was there. As far as I could tell, that to make money, she needed money, and she broke in with her group, yeah. And her group was the one group that got sent to actually fight against him in an arena, and he was toying with it. He wore a ring that could hide his magic power, so you couldn't sense it. So he was just fighting him physically. And then he said, "Well, I'm originally a mage, so I'm going to fight you as that." And this girl was like, "You're not a mage. I can tell you don't have any magic power." He's like, "Oh, you're a sensor type?" And she's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry." He takes the ring off, and then it's like, like you saw Soul Eater, I think, right?
Soul Eater, yeah.
Remember how the Grim Reaper, his aura enveloped the whole
Yeah.
planet? It was basically like, I mean, it wasn't that big, but that's
Yeah.
basically the effect that it had. And so she just started vomiting when she saw his aura. It was just too overwhelming. She's like, "He's a monster. It's impossible. There's no way."
So is the main character kind of attacking these people because he believes he's still in the game?
No, he actually,
Is he like a
he's
tyrant?
just trying to stake his claims. He doesn't like when they invade his territory. There are some things he approaches that are a little bit cruel, like he slaughtered the lizard people that were near, but I guess it was more of a test. But I mean, it seemed like kind of cruel. He ended up reviving. I think it looks like by now he's revived all of them. But I don't know. Like, well, part of it too is like the NPCs that served him in his guild.
Mhm.
They still serve them, and like I guess I don't know if his guild like created a bad image for themselves or what, but like these NPC characters that they're like his servants and stuff, they live for just death and destruction. So any chance they get, they want to slaughter and stuff like that. Not all of them, but most of them, you know.
Shit.
And so I think that he like to maintain his persona.
He has to kind of
Yeah.
keep it. Oh, okay. What was I gonna say? Do you remember Digimon? Remember that Digimon where they would go into the computers?
The movie.
It was actual season, huh? They would go into the computers and there was like one bad human that would kind of have all the Digimon as like slaves. You remember that?
Is that the second season?
I think it was the second season.
With Ken,
Yeah,
the Digimon Emperor.
yeah. That Digimon Emperor had like a little bug.
Wormmon?
Yeah, Wormmon. And then they would talk like all like,
No, Ken, don't do it.
Yeah, it's all dorky and shit. It's like, shut up. And then he would
Did you
kick
watch
it.
Digimon Try?
No, is that the new one?
It's the movie series they made.
No,
It's a sequel to the original.
to the first one.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Did they have the original voice actors?
I can't tell. Some of them don't sound the same. But like Ty is the same.
Ty is
So
the
I was
same.
Ty is the
Yeah,
same.
Ty's
And I think Agumon, or if he's not, he sounds damn good.
good argument. So it's good.
Yeah, I haven't watched all. I watched it in
Here.
subtitle,
Oh, okay.
but now that it's in English, I need to watch it. I don't know if they've done the last movie though yet, so that's why I haven't. I want to make sure that it's all dubbed before I watch it because I like the dub for that one.
Yeah, I like the dub. There's a
I
lot
grew
of
up on that one.
yeah, there's a lot of anime where the dub's like, I don't know. I think it's better, and maybe not story wise, but you know, I definitely enjoy it. Like Full Metal Alchemist, the first one, dub was awesome. I didn't find
I
a
even
single
like the
issue.
second one.
You didn't like the second one?
I even like the second
Oh
one.
yeah. Oh, they dubbed the second one.
Yeah.
I think I only saw a couple of episodes. I saw the whole season.
It's
The whole
very
season.
rare for me personally for me to not like a dub. There are a couple of it I was like, ah, shit.
Like, did you like Code Geass dub?
I was gonna say that was the one that I wasn't a huge fan of.
Okay.
But that's like one of the few. You know, usually I don't mind the dub so much. It's easier not having to read. I can listen to it in passing.
Yeah, dude, that's the. I think that's why I haven't been able to watch anime lately, because I definitely want to do other stuff than just sit there and watch an anime,
Yeah.
and you can't do that with subs.
Yeah, that's the problem is to be able to sit down and put that much time. I mean, it's hard.
Yeah,
I got so many other things that I need to do. So
yeah.
But yeah, that's why I think I prefer the dubs. Even with an annoying voice, I'll still watch it. Oh, do you watch or did you watch? Is it wrong to pick up a girl in a dungeon?
No,
Oh man, that's a good one. That one's a good one.
what's that one about?
It's another fantasy thing.
Spoiler.
And he joins a familia, and he's like the only family member aside from the goddess, and he wants to become stronger. Like right at the beginning, he gets embarrassed, I guess you could say, and it causes him to develop these feelings of wanting to get stronger, and it kind of helps his growth, and so then he starts to grow really quick, and he becomes strong abnormally quick, and it's just, I don't know, it's a good story. It's entertaining. It's funny. It's got decent action. It's a good story.
Is it pervy? Just the title sounds like it. You're a little pervy.
I originally avoided it because of the title. I was like, this doesn't. My friend kept trying to convince me to watch it, and I was like, eh. But then I watched it, and it's like, I figured, oh, the whole time it's gonna be him trying to pick up girls in Dungeon. That's not what it is at all.
Oh, okay. So the girl's like, it's just one girl, right?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
it was like he meets the girl in the dungeon at the beginning, and she saved him, and he was like, she's like kind of a star in that world, like she's really popular, and he like looks up to her, and so because he looks up to her, his feelings are he wants to get as strong as she is, so that's what causes him to grow.
Oh, is she strong?
Yeah, she's strong,
Oh, okay.
and so it's funny. It's definitely funny. I think that's one of the better parts about it is that it's really a lot of things they do. But then there's, like I said, there's some good action scenes and stuff too. You know.
You've recommended a lot of anime to me. The one I definitely felt totally in love with was Devil as a Part-Timer. Dude, I fucking love that anime. It sucks that they haven't come up with season 2.
Yeah,
They might
they've
not.
got like 14 books, so they got plenty of material.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one of the few ones where I'll consider reading the manga.
That was a good
But
one.
dude, that shit was fucking hilarious. You're like, oh, let's try this one. Remember, you came over, and it was another one of those times where I didn't have internet. We're like, oh, fucking, we'll watch movies or something. You're like, dude, have you seen this? And it's like, no. It's like, watch it. It's like, try out like at least one episode. It's like, all right. Tried out like 2-3 episodes, and I was hooked. I was like, dude, here's my USB. Drop it in there. I want to finish this shit. I actually made Jessica watch it. Yeah, she was like,
liked it.
yeah, she liked it. Well, I don't think we finished it, but she definitely liked it.
Yeah, I remember for me, you got me into Rick and Morty.
Oh, dude, Rick and Morty's fucking
It's funny.
hilarious.
One of my customers has a really cool poster of Rick and Morty that he had to print for a customer.
Oh,
And he
shit.
had a couple extras. He's like, "I'll bring you by one." I was like, "Oh, okay." I didn't think he was gonna bring it by. He brought it. It's nice and framed and everything. It's really nice, you know.
Dude, that's
And
awesome.
everyone at work keeps asking me to give it to him. I'm like, no, get out of here. This is mine.
It's crazy how much it blew up.
Yeah.
Because I think when I told you, it was just like it was already season.
It was 2 seasons.
Season 2,
Yeah, 'cause
and it had a lot of hype.
I
but
was
not
already
like
into it by the time season 3 started, so I watched Pickle Rick, come on.
Yeah, that shit's hilarious. It's funny. And then every time you go back and watch it, it gets funnier because you catch a lot of different shit.
Yeah.
You catch a lot more shit than you didn't catch the first time.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, definitely. I was reading. It was like a magazine. It was a magazine while I was at work in the shitter. And it was like maybe one of those. Oh, Michelle. Yeah. It was one of those. I don't know, Forbes or some dumb magazine, business magazine. And they had like a little article about why Rick and Morty is so popular. And it had like timelines, and it had like references that it uses. And I didn't realize how many actual pop culture references.
No, it's crazy.
Yeah. And I was like, okay, makes sense. Like a lot of the episodes, I didn't link them directly into pop culture. Like which episode was it? I think it was the one where they actually go back to medieval times and stuff. Because Morty wants to have his own adventure or whatever.
Yeah.
And I guess it had a lot of pop culture references in that one. And I was like, oh, okay, I didn't associate that. Yeah, that one was a really cool episode. Actually, I need to go back and watch it again.
Yeah, I bought the third season. I need to go back and buy the first and second now. I like that show a lot.
Yeah, so we're getting close to an hour. I'm probably going to stop the podcast. We're definitely going to keep talking. But I think this is a good start. Let's see how it goes. And definitely would like to have you here again. I definitely like hearing about anime. And,
We can't spoil it for everybody.
We can't spoil it for everybody. But yeah, I think we had a good conversation. And yeah, if you're down, I'm down to have more reviews. I'm going to post this up on YouTube. Maybe if we get a little more hang of this, I'll try to get this on Twitch. I think Twitch, you have to be live. Yeah, I think you have to be live, and then if you want to archive stuff, you throw it on YouTube. But yeah, maybe we can try a live one next time. I don't have any followers or anything, so it's random, so you guys nerve-wracking. But yeah, definitely. Thank you, John. Bye-bye.
It's all in my head. It's all in my